Hi everyone, and welcome to the 19th video in the Weather Unlocked video series. This video will discuss the Storm Prediction Center and some of the various products they provide that you might see, especially as we head into the upcoming spring season. So first, let's take a look at some of the many things the Storm Prediction Center does. So the SPC provides both timely and accurate forecasts and watches for both severe thunderstorms and tornadoes, and they also monitor and provide products for hazardous winter weather and fire weather events. So before we dig deeper into the different products issued by the SPC, in order to give you a better understanding, we wanted to take a quick look at what we classify as severe weather. So we consider a storm to be severe if it either produces a tornado, damaging winds, or wind speeds of 58 miles per hour or greater, or quarter-size hail, meaning 1 inch in diameter or larger. And then SPC goes a step further and classifies significant severe thunderstorms as being storms that produce a tornado with EF2 or higher damage, wind speeds greater than or equal to 75 miles per hour, or hail 2 inches in diameter or larger. So this left image shows the front page of their website, and on it you can look at various products such as the Thunderstorm Outlook, Convective Outlooks, Fire Weather Outlooks, Storm Reports, watches that SPC issued, and also mesoscale discussions highlighting a particular area of interest for storm development. And these are just a few of the numerous features and products that they provide on their website at spc.noaa.gov. So in the next couple slides, I'll go into more detail on some of these products that you'll probably see as we head into the spring season. So first, let's take a look at the Thunderstorm Outlooks. Now, the SPC issues these outlooks that depict the probability of thunderstorms occurring in the 4 to 8 hour time periods. And these forecasts directly express the best estimate of a thunderstorm occurring within 12 miles of a point. So in these outlooks, SPC uses 3 probabilistic forecasting thresholds, which are 10, 40, and 70%. And even though these aren't severe weather outlooks, these thunderstorm outlooks are critical for the protection of life and property because, every thunderstorm contains lightning, which could potentially be deadly. So it's extremely important to pay attention to these thunderstorm outlooks as they are issued by the SPC. Now, the products that some of you might be most familiar with are the Convective Outlooks. And SPC issues these for days 1 through 3 that show areas where both non-severe and severe thunderstorms may pose a threat. And it's essentially their best estimate of a severe weather event occurring within 25 miles of a point. Now, this image on the bottom of this slide highlights the different outlook stages, with general thunderstorms being the lowest stage when there's just non-severe thunderstorms expected. And then there's the 1 through 5 different outlooks, with stage 1 or the marginal risk being the lowest, and stage 5 or the high risk being the highest. So with the marginal risk, we're generally looking at the possibility of isolated severe thunderstorms. And then as we progress through the higher stages, you can see the wording really beginning to become more enhanced. So you can see that we go from possible isolated severe thunderstorms in a marginal risk to numerous severe thunderstorms possible in an enhanced risk, and then widespread severe storms likely in a moderate risk or expected in a high risk, which would tell you that the particularly intense and dangerous storms can be expected. But with any of these outlooks, severe storms can still pose a threat to daily life. So it's important to never let your guard down and to always stay alert, even on those lower risk days, because severe weather could still have an impact. And then for days 1 and 2, SPC also includes probability forecasts for tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail. And that can give you a better idea of the types of hazards that could occur, as well as the probability of those hazards occurring. And then beyond days 1 through 3, they also issue more probabilistic outlooks for day 4 through 8, with 2 thresholds of 15 and 30% being forecasted. And that 15% area is going to be equivalent to a slight risk, with that 30% area is equivalent to more of an enhanced risk. And then as this image here shows, if there isn't at least a 15% probability forecast, it'll say that either predictability or the potential was too low for severe weather. Now, mesoscale discussions, or MDs, are focused on the severe thunderstorm potential as well as the hazardous winter weather events. And that can include anything from heavy snow to blizzards, freezing rain, and then any other winter hazards. So each MD is going to include the areas affected by the hazards. It's also going to include, the reasoning behind the MD being issued, as well as any potential for a watch. It'll also include, valid times and a summary paragraph with a technical discussion, and then finally a graphic highlighting the area of concern. In that image here on the left, that's a snippet of a severe mesoscale discussion that you could see with everything that it's going to include. So when a severe weather MD is issued, it's going to focus on the potential for severe thunderstorm activity for the next 6 hours, and really especially emphasizing those first 3 hours in that time frame. And one of the main reasons for issuing these products is to provide that extra lead time before the severe weather develops. And that's going to allow emergency managers in other entities to really start getting ready and gearing up operations before a potential watch is issued. And then that typical goal is to get these issued anywhere from 1 to 2 hours before issuing a watch. And then winter weather MDs, those are going to focus on the meteorological processes that are expected to cause those hazardous winter weather events over the next 6 hours, and really especially emphasizing those first 4 hours. And then there's a number of reasons one of these would be issued. If a forecast called for snowfall rates exceeding 1 inch per hour below 4,000 feet, or even 2 inches per hour, either in lake effect snow or between 4,000 to 8,000 feet for multiple hours. It can also be issued when they're expecting freezing rain rates exceeding 0.05 of an inch in 3 hours, or even when blizzard conditions are expected to last over 3 hours. And then finally, taking a look at the watches that SPC issues, that top left image gives an example of what a tornado watch might look like. And these are issued when conditions are favorable for either multiple tornadoes or a single intense tornado. And then that image to the right of it gives an example of severe thunderstorm watches, which are issued when organized convection is capable of producing at least 6 total severe weather events. And then these watches are usually 6 to 8 hours in duration, but they can be canceled, extended, or even replaced depending on how the conditions are progressing throughout the event. An important thing to note is a watch is not a warning and does not mean that severe weather is guaranteed. But it is the time to stay alert for changing weather conditions and potential warnings that could be issued. Now, some watches are going to include, more enhanced wording to message the threats involved. So that's when you're going to see the following wording used where it mentions, this is a particular dangerous situation, otherwise known as a PDS. And these are highlighted for a few different reasons. The first is when there's high confidence of multiple intense tornadoes. So tornadoes rated either EF2 and up. They'll also use the PDS wording in severe thunderstorm watches when a well-defined large bow echo has developed, and then they're receiving that evidence of widespread damaging winds occurring as that bow echo is moving at least 55 miles per hour. So, if they're seeing this unfold and if the conditions are favoring this bow echo to either continue to be maintained or to intensify down the line, they're going to go ahead and potentially issue this PDS wording. And then it can also be issued when widespread significant severe weather events are anticipated. So, those winds greater than 75 miles per hour or hail greater than 2 inches in diameter. And those are just 4 examples of the multiple products and services that are available on the SPC website. And each of the tabs within that upper red box have drop-down menus containing even more products that are extremely useful when inclement weather heads our way. So make sure to check out their website at the URL shown on this slide and look at everything they have to offer. So that concludes this video on the different products available on the Storm Prediction Center's website. So make sure to stay tuned for future videos in the Weather Unlocked video series.